Amanda's got a question for you, Sandra. Have you found any difference between sitting and videoing your short recordings, or would something more organic be received better, like recording whilst out walking in nature, or like doing something while we're videoing?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we've been discussing, in our groups, what's the kind of way we're going to record the video as, like, positioning, so where we're going to position ourselves. I think being outside is a really, really nice way. If you're doing your about video, I would suggest staying, so wherever you are, to stay still, so not a walking video, for an about video for your website. Being outside is lovely, because as long as you're not, like, got a lot of shadows and everybody can see your face really clearly, it gives a really nice fresh approach. If you've maybe got some greenery behind you or some blue sky or whatever you're in nature, is really, really nice. And it can give the person a real sense of maybe relaxation as they're watching. If you're also indoors, sometimes I've recorded videos where I'm standing, and when I'm teaching, when I'm standing, I feel that's quite good, because it's kind of like you can kind of move about and you don't feel you're kind of stuck to your chair so much. You get maybe a little bit more freer. If you're recording video for social media, so say for example you're talking about your favourite quote or something, that in a walking video is really nice. So if you are going to think about to be really careful, make sure you have your sound or your microphone plugged into your phone so that it's not kind of distracting. But being out walking builds the energy, so when people are looking through social media, they're in that kind of energy drive. It's like next post, next post, next post. And if you are out walking and they get a sense of the energy, then that definitely will be helpful. So everything helps, but I would suggest when you're doing your about video, which is what we do at the end of our course, to have it either inside or outside, but kind of sitting. But a real social media one, you're out walking, or some people would be out walking the dog, or maybe doing some sort of walking is really nice, because it builds a bit of energy. Your sound's muted, John.
Thank you, Sandra.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can see you talk.
Yeah, I just put it on mute while I was typing some responses, so you don't get that.
Thank you.
Down the microphone. And thank you for saying. So when a potential client is coming to our website, or perhaps the counselling directory where we could post the About Me video that's a very focused piece of content, I guess, where someone wants to know who are we and what do we do and how are we, like to be sitting and concentrating. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, that would be my suggestion, inside or outside kind of sitting. I mean, it's personal preference, but I definitely would suggest that for the website video.
And I like the walking videos as well for the Facebook posts or Twitter posts, so that, or some colleagues are doing this on Instagram too, because we might have a routine of walking. Like Sandra, you're walking most days, and often you're then recording some videos. So it's like you don't have to then put something else into your schedule for that. If you're already out doing some walking, you've got some things you want to say for social media, you can do two things at once.
Yeah. And it kind of maybe will then kind of come across more personal, because you don't feel you're in a studio or you're set up, It could be, that you're just talking, or you might be passing your favourite place, or show your, little bit of a garden that we're passing by or something like that. So it can be quite nice and personal that way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think some colleagues who are who work with mindfulness might be out walking and say some things about that kind of work, or you might even be, perhaps it's unlikely, we might be out walking and have some ideas about theory. You might think, oh, this is a bit, I've just had a thought of how I could articulate a piece of theory that could be accessible for clients. And so here's some ideas. And
it could be a way to kind of record those ideas, because, well, we're the same, aren't we? It's like we're always got, like, you go out walking, you got an idea here, and when you're running your own business, you've got your own practice, there is so much to think about. So it can be even a nice way just to like talk about it, because sometimes you talk about an idea, it kind of then all comes together, you know, and then so you're kind of doing everything at once and recording it and things like that.
Yeah. It's a lot to think about running a private practice, isn't it? Running any kind of business, and ideas, an invitation for clients to be, you know, a reminder for self-care. It might be clients who watch that. It might even be for colleagues, you know, just this, oh, I'm out walking, it's really helping me, and this is what's in my environment, it's good for me. And a real invitation to each other, because I think when we're running practices, businesses, it can be hard to make time for that as well.
Yes.
Self-care.
Yes.